Well, one day I was reading the Bible in Daniel, and it said that in the end, those of the faith will be severely tested. And I was thinking, okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure what it means exactly, but what that test would be. The next day, I was working, and I used to be a pretty strong boy. Anything under 300 pounds, I just pick up and go with, right? There was this one die. I was a steel fabricator working with steel. So we had this one die that formed these radio brackets for trucks, and it weighed about 410 pounds. And we were moving shops to a bigger shop. And so it was on a pallet. I had to get it into the press to do a run. And we couldn't get into it with everything was, when you're moving shops, if you ever done it, you know what it's like. So there's all kinds of pallets everywhere. So I thought, oh, well, I'll just grab it, right? 400 pounds, I'll just be careful. But unfortunately, one foot was on the pallet and one was on the floor, so my back wasn't lined up straight. I grabbed this die, I locked in what should have been a good lift. I stood up, and it felt like someone was injecting molten steel into my spine. I knew I blew something that big, and I was done. So I worked the rest of the day in agony. I get in my truck and I drive home, and that finished me. I get home, I park in the garage, and I go to get out of my truck, and I couldn't walk. Couldn't stand. So I dragged myself into my apartment, and I laid on the floor for a couple of days. And Wednesday come around, so I phoned the landlord. I said, it's Wednesday, I got to get to church. I can't walk, I can't stand. I'm going to need a ride. So a buddy comes and gets me, almost carries me into the church. And so I sit in the back seat, and he doesn't stay for some reason, even though he's a Christian. He went to a different church, but he didn't stay. Too bad, because he would have gotten to see something. And Jonah, the song leader, came in, and I said, I need prayer, and it's bad. Normally, when people need prayer, we would always wait to the end of the service, because that's just, I don't know, tradition, I suppose. But he could see I was done. So at the beginning of the service, before we started singing or anything, he called me up for prayer. And I get to the front of the church, and Brother Emke, his dad, the preacher, comes out with the oil and prays. As soon as he anoints that oil on my head, I felt something physically leave my back. It crunched and cracked and crackled and straightened up, and I could walk. And he's sick among you, call the elders of the church, anoint him with oil in the name of the Lord, prayer of faith shall save the sick. A couple of days later, I'm laying in bed at home, and my back is in absolute agony again. And I'm sitting there going, I don't understand. We did everything the Bible said to do, and everything is still is back to the condition it was in. And then a voice spoke. If you're healed, why are you laying there like a cripple saying I'm healed? If you're healed, get up and walk. Moses had to open the Red Sea before anybody crossed. When Joshua got to the promised land, they went into the Jordan, and when they were ankle deep, the water spread. Are you sick? Get up and walk. That's when I learned the difference between faith and hope. I can lay there in pain hoping it'll go away. But faith was, I'm cured, get up and walk. Miracles, signs, and wonders. These signs shall follow them that believe. God bless.